illusions about reality. I do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I'm the void one.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting from the high desert in Cottonwood, Arizona. This is Lighting the Void. We're live from the Fringe FM studios. It is Cosmic Conditions, June the 10th on into the 11th. Mary Dusina is here with us in the house. I know you guys have been waiting on this, right? With all the crazy stuff that's been going on and all the crazy energies. Jesus. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear about what's been going on and why it's been going on? Of course. Mary Dusina is here with us. Go to the website, MaryDusina, and get a life-changing reading. If you want to support this show, we could really use it. And I mean really use it. With the move and everything, we could use your support for sure. If you go to lightingthevoid.com, make a donation, or sign up to the Patreon. Still working on some stuff here, trying to catch up after a lot of chaos. And here's what I want to say, and I'm going to jump right out of the gate with Mary here. Now, remember, if this is your first time listening to the broadcast, welcome to the show. But we do this show every new moon with Mary Dusina, and we have a call-in after she gives the energies from the cosmos here. That call-in number is 1-800-588-0335. Mary, what chaos is going on right now, for sure? Isn't it chaotic?
Yeah, listen, from friends that I've talked to, from relatives having some tsunami high tides come up with, whether it's medical reports or different things, it has, and in my own life, it's so funny when you're an astrologer and you look at the sign of Gemini. We had storms in these, Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. It knocked the phone lines out, like several of them in the neighborhood from May 3rd, and I ended up getting to the office of the president of AT&T, and they didn't get restored, Joe. They did not get restored till May 18th. And when you look at that from the 3rd, so when you look at that, it was the exact day that Mercury and Gemini crossed over what would be our eclipse degree today of 19 degrees. So none of that matters, and I don't care about any of that. When you're going through the frustration and the chaos, as you mentioned, in life, often you look at in retrospect, because when we have chaos and confusion, and they all begin with the letter C. That kind of goes with Gemini. Chaos and confusion lead to change. And from the chaos and confusion that's propelling us, like literally hurling us in a whirlwind, like a whirling dervish, toward the change that's meant to be, that's got to be, because this is a North Node eclipse, and that's current karma that we need to embrace and get liberated with, then what happens is we end up getting conclusions. So I want to start this chaos thing with a couple of themes, with this, what I'm calling the triad of the Gemini energy. What do you think, and why do you think it? Because Gemini, you start out with Aries when we do the turning of the wheel, the mystical turning of the wheel at spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. So Aries, with that constellation, it's Aries the ram. So that's like, I'm ready. I'm going to charge forth. Let's do this, the I am. Then we have the bull, and the bull is I have. And so we're starting to look at what's our bounty in spring, or when we're hunkering down on the other side of the world for the chilly weather of winter in the southern hemisphere. And then Gemini comes along, and we've got these humanoids. We've got this duality that starts to happen with the mutable masculine yang vibration of Gemini. And here's an easy way, because, Joe, we're going on 3 years together here, Joe, so I like to uncomplicate astrology. And the way I look at Gemini in our charts, as well as a Gemini person or a Sagittarius person, is when we open our eyes and look at our external orbit of what's around us, when we open our physical eyes and look, at that world, that's Gemini. When we close our eyes and look inward in that inner realm and those worlds, that's the polarity sign of Sagittarius. So Gemini has a lot to do with the moving and the spoken word, and where we come to know our restrictions about being able to find our voice and speak our mind. Gemini's the mind and its ideals, and it's, we have to learn from childhood forward that we must find our style, we must find our sassy and our archetype and how we want to communicate, because things left unsaid will never reach the shore. So it's got to do with the cerebral functions, and so it's affirmations, it's lyrics of songs that move us, it's prayers, it's chanting, it's spell work, it's how we bring words to life. And so it can be fighting words, or it can be words that someone says, "Oh Lordy, that just turned me on." So we all know that shift and that pitch and tone of words and how it's delivered. Somebody can just be sitting there eating a sandwich and having some tea or coffee or a glass of wine, and you've had it happen, or you're sitting in the lounge or the bar, or you've been playing pool and somebody walks by you and says that one sentence, and you're like, "I'm lit." Okay, what was that? Come back and say that to me again. Or somebody can say the wrong thing, and you can immediately go into some kind of tornado, of anger, especially if someone gets overtired. So Gemini is the multitasking. We're doing multiple things all the time. We're always trying to play catch up. And when you have Mercury cazimi, that's the fancy word, when you have Mercury cazimi, which means that Mercury merged with the heart of the sun at the time of this eclipse. And so what happens is the moon got in between and almost covered, from Earth's perspective of viewing, the full disk of the sun, and that ring of fire, like Johnny Cash's song, that ring of fire, those are called Bailey's beads in the astronomical world. So there's another word for it is a halo. And halos, to this mystic, to this mountain mystic, anything to do with a halo, spiritually, visually, sometimes we see those rainbow halos out there, or you see like a fire rainbow, it's a halo. But halos for me, and when you look at a rainbow, it actually has a bottom part to it. When we see these double rainbows on our side of the world, they actually have an underneath archway as well. A halo is a portal into a more mystical world, or it's like a sign or an omen in the heavens. They're written about, they're talked about, and they're on all throughout history and throughout time. They're above saints and magi. So this confusion that's been going on, we're working between truth or dare and lies, or self-deception, or deception with ourselves. Like, where are we kidding ourselves? Where are we enabling our own bad habits? I always try to start with self, because we've got this triad of Gemini, sun and moon married at a new moon with the North Node eclipse series of Gemini happening. This is the last Gemini eclipse for 9 years. So let's take a time travel real quick, because people, when you can get people to go back in time a little bit, it helps you understand the meat and potatoes of astrology. So when we had the last North Node in Gemini, Dragon's Head, South Node in Sagittarius, just like now, which is the dragon's tail when you get into Ayurvedic studies, that was in like October of 2001 through April of 2003. Write that down, whether you're hearing it live on the replay. So what mattered? Who was a priority? What raging change came into your life and altered your life between the mid part of autumn, October of 2001, and April of 2003? A whole lot of stuff went down in my life, I can tell you that. And you don't have to be a Gemini or a Sagittarius for that to be a big deal. And just a year ago, when we had the full moon in Sagittarius on May 25th of this year, a year ago was the Gemini theme, because Gemini rules the respiratory system, the lungs. It has to do with freedom of movement and liberation. There was this big theme hitting the news with all the riots. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And the actual day that crime event happened with George Floyd was May 25th. This year, 1 year later, and we were getting all locked down, 1 year later, we had a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius has got us saying, what are my beliefs and how are they serving me? Now, what am I divided? Am I losing friendships over my beliefs? Are people kicking me out saying because I believe this and I don't want to sign up for that and I'm not going to do that no matter what mainstream propaganda media is trying to tell me, what's fake news or what's dividing people or what they call cancel culture and all that? Am I literally losing friendships or backing away from people because of their aberrant beliefs? Or better yet, their inability. It's like it's okay for them to have their beliefs, but when you say to them, we can agree to disagree and still be friends, you've got this whole culture out there right now going, no, you're a racist if you don't believe like I do. And like, yeah, okay, bye-bye.
It's like culture gaslighting or something because you
there you go, better word. So Gemini's, here's the shift we've got to all make, male, female, old, young. Gemini's more like the lack of available emotion, like on an email or in a text, or like a visual meme, like a little, like you get this meme and you laugh out loud because it's like the new cartoon is a visual meme. But right now, and until we get to the next new moon, you might want to pump your brakes on just doing a quick text or just doing an email. There may come a point, especially with Mercury retrograde till the 22nd of June, that we need to clarify. And we might need to put some actual voice to that. People right now psychically, I believe that our friends and our social connections don't need to be putting us off or be off-putting or kick us to the curb or don't make time for us. Gemini's more like Quicksilver time where Saturn can slow things down. Mercury's like, let's get it. Let's do it. Oh, my God, I forgot. How am I going to hide that? So there's this real push right now for getting things done, but we've got ourselves rolling along in high gear, in fast gear so much, so we can burn out. We can really burn out. So it's like I can't seem to catch up with myself. I can't seem to catch a break. I can't seem to catch my breath.
Yeah.
So what Gemini is saying to you right now is take some time for you and self-care, and then get some stuff done. And then, again, take some time for you. Because I think what's making us a little nervous is that we're trying to find out, what do I believe? What is right for me right now? As it's like the juggler. The balls are all up in the air. And the tarot card of this with Neptune and Pisces squaring off, Jupiter's in Pisces too right now, getting ready to retrograde. So you look at those two mutable signs, you look at the duals, as I call them, and I'm going to do wordplay with you. The dual mutable signs are Gemini, the twin factor, and then we have Pisces, the two fishes, and then you have Sagittarius, the half man, half horse. So the mutable signs have got some shape-shifting going on. It's not just twins, it's a constellation of twins. When you get into Greek mythology, which is far too long to do for now because we'll have callers tonight and people wanting some answers and messages because it's Gemini new moon. So they're going to be saying, oh, that's all really interesting, Mary, but can I get my reading? I mean, I know it and I feel it and we'll do it. But the Gemini factor right now is don't get so lost in your own thoughts or in your own beliefs that most people miss this factor. How to win on this eclipse in the North Node in Gemini and this solar eclipse, this annual eclipse, is that we need to listen more. We need to really deeply listen. So tonight when you're asking for your card or you're formulating your one question, my guides have already told me deep listening needs to be going on with your own self-talk, like really think about what, don't be so in a rush to hear or get through the lines or get your card. You need to really do deep listening. And I have no idea what the guides will say to you. Joe knows that. Anybody that listens to this show all the time, I just immediately rapid fire come out with what they tell me. I don't censor it. I just come right out with what it is. Because it's not up for me to understand it. It's up for you to get that insight and that message. And that's just the way I work as a psychic. So I feel that there's going to be some very engaging, meaningful keys that will unlock some things that have had you in a tither or in a quagmire, or you feel like you're caught up in a web, because this new moon on the bright side is the rubbing of the magic genie's lamp. So the blue genie comes out. You said abracadabra, and the blue genie comes out and says, wow, thanks for getting me out of there. So I owe you, because I was locked down. We're coming out of lockdown. and you got 3 wishes. There's 3 Gemini factors. There's Mercury involved in this, the sun and the moon. This solar eclipse in Gemini takes us, there's a bridge that's formed, and it takes us into the eclipse that happens around December 3rd, 4th of this year. So there's a bridge. So you go back to December of 2020. That's the bridge that brought us to here. So when you think where you lived, who you were with, what were you obsessing about, because the Gemini Sag factor would be where we get OCD or obsessive about something, and we get so much anxiety because we can't shut our head off. It's like we can't. It's like, God, get over yourself. Why are you letting that rent space in your head for free all the time? They're not doing that with you on that job, in that relationship or whatever. Why are you doing that? Because, and I'll tell you, you're not going to solve, I guess this is the best way to combine Gemini and Sag. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when we created them. I'm going to say it again, because it's going to give you a chance to listen to deep listening, and then I'm going to really listen, put your listening ears on, then we're going to go to the signs. We cannot solve the problem with the same thinking that we used that created it. And that's a play on words to get you to understand that Gemini is the winds of change. The magic genie is up, and what does the magic genie kind of look at you? He gives you that look, when you go back to Aladdin and the magic genie. Be careful what you wish for. You may get it. So this is about doing some discernment, one of the high skills of Sagittarius, doing a bit of meditative, prayerful, ceremonial discernment. Ceremonies are wonderful, prayers, getting in touch with your guides. That's hard to do when it's a Gemini feature eclipse. It's just hard to do because we're distracted by a lot of stuff. And again, we keep telling ourselves we're better busy, and so we're multitasking so much, and we're scrolling, and we're looking at a chat room, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and checking our emails and what somebody's opinion is, how it's going so far. And so we're really not doing deep listening because we've got our fingers and our eyes all over the place. So the world, when you open your eyes, is Gemini, and when you close it, when you close your eyes, then you're looking with your inner eye, and that's Sagittarius. So we have to stop being distracted from pursuing our dreams. So this is like in the old carnivals, the old circus. We're in the House of Mirrors right now, and I think that the Sagittarius full moon that happened on May 25th, 26th has kind of stirred up some old psychological nemesis of some kind, maybe even some people from our past or issues from our past, and it's kind of force-feeding us, which we don't like. Don't put that spoon to my mouth. I don't want to taste it right now. So it's making us realize, and it's force-feeding us to look at the things that we don't have control over that we kind of sort of wish we did. So it's yang, it's masculine, it's the Tower card in the tarot. Those of you that own your tarot decks and go into some of the traditional decks, the Tower deck, when that lightning bolt hits the tower, what's being cast out is that which is horrific, or that which is trying to hide and have dominion over us. So it's the original actual name of the Tower card was the lightning struck Tower of God. So someone gets at this ivory tower attitude, or they feel like that they're oblivious to, they're above everybody else, or they got their nose in the air. It's not going to happen to them. So what if somebody else is starving? It's not my issue today. And then all of a sudden your world gets cracked wide open and the lightning bolt comes in. So when you look at the play on words of enlightenment, enlightening, it's a force and it's a bolt out of the blue to give you a reality bite and a reality check of what you're not seeing, what you've been refusing seeing about an unhealthy situation, a job that you hate. And you are in the Sagittarian phase of, but I made a commitment to this. I made a commitment to this job. I made a commitment to this person. I made a commitment to do this. And you're absolutely miserable, and you whine about it and you bitch about it, but you still go back to the fact that, but I made a commitment to that person and all this. And if someone says, can I ask you a really obvious question? Are you happy?
Yeah.
Are you happy? Yeah. So, and isn't it amazing that people that we all know that they look miserable, they're moving around miserable, but they can't seem to embrace the change. And I'll say this before we either go to the break or start the signs, Joe, whatever you want to do, you're the captain of the ship, is that, humans, we got to realize, as humans, I'm telling you, it's a funky thing about humans. You don't wake up as a human and say, I'm going to make a lot of changes today. I'm excited about making changes. No, we run from it. We hide from it. We dig our heels in, and we keep wanting to reinvent the wheel that's already happening. And even though we know it's not good for us anymore, or it's leading to an addiction, or our downfall, or we're miserable, we still resist the change. And that's why our guides, and that's why karma, and that's why spirit kind of puts those teachers and preachers and people in our life, and demons and disruptive events to say, now you'll change, now you'll face it. So I don't see it as a punishment, but I would be lying to you, and I won't, if I didn't say to you, this is one of those cycles that if you've been running from something for a long time and your soul already knows you're weary, it's not right for you anymore, you need to not just turn the page, you've got to start a whole new chapter in your life. Those of you that can be spiritually strong enough to put the shield and the anointment of light, to be anointed and walk forward and at least experiment with an exploration or a change, those are the ones that are going to be blessed. Because Cancer, the next sign is about hunkering down and getting into your home base and your neighborhood and your vortex, but Gemini is about, you need to change, pal. You need to change. So a change of venue, a change in your beliefs. Maybe you've divorced your beliefs for too long, and maybe you need to change and go back to those beliefs and those resolutions that served you very well. And again, you got to communicate it. What are you leaving unsaid? What are you not saying that could be a game changer? That's a part of Gemini too. So it's high drama. There's a lot of anxiety. There's both deep desires and longings that your soul it's going to be bringing up. It's going to be surfacing. Remember the head of the dragon? That's the north node, and so the dragon's blowing fire right now. So the fire signs and the air signs are most favored. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, even though Sagittarius is in the hot seat like Gemini, and Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. You guys are in the spotlight right now. You're in the spotlight right now, and I have to say you can run, but you cannot hide, and that's. But I want to tell you that's not a bad thing. Gemini and Leo are more exhilarating. Mars moves into Leo tonight, and any planet that goes into Mars, you just start feeling better, and it's more social. Mars was not happy in Cancer. It made us get grumpy and moody and sullen and surly and sassy with our mouth. Now Mars has gone into Leo, and it's going to help you with all this Gemini energy until we get to Lithia, summer solstice. It's going to help us lighten up. It's going to help us lighten up. There'll be more money coming in. We'll be doing more tithing and kindness. Yeah, because it's been heavy. And to me, it's been the Mars and Cancer that's been really heavy. So it lightens up tonight. That's the good news. One more caveat. We've got the second, every astrologer on YouTube is talking about this one and on the internet. There's the theme of this year is that Saturn in Aquarius squaring up with Uranus and Taurus. So again, that's happening on the 14th. And so it happens again in December. So the first one was mid-February. That's your timeline to go back to around Valentine's Day, what was working, what was not working. So this is the second one. So also in the hot seat is Aquarius and Taurus as far as don't get so wild just to be wild or try wild things just to break with tradition. Right now, this second square in the series of three is saying, what about that conventional, traditional, reliable aspect of you and your personality and how you really like romance and how you really like your home, whether you're a clutterbug or you're a neat freak? Go back to something a little traditional, but take it easy between the 14th and the 17th. Just take it easy, because what's happening is the tension, the high tension wire, there's a lot of electricity out there right now. And there's a high tension around people and their psychological self. So try not to start it. If you have to finish it, finish it. But try to be kind. When in doubt, be kind until we get through at least the 17th, because this is not a time to be in road rage. It's not a time to be speeding around because you're running late because you caused that problem anyway. This is a time to be very vigilant with how you're taking the steps that you're taking. So I can't tell you it's not intense. It's very intense, but it's exciting and it's electric, but you got to be on your game right now. You got to be putting your best game out there.
Yeah.
Because it's fast. It's quick.
Interesting.
It's fast. Gemini's fast. Yeah, Gemini's fast. So a lot of shock and awe things can happen. So I kind of want you to, it's time now to look at who you've become.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I got to tell you something on break because what you're saying is spot on for sure. We'll be right back. We'll go through the signs and we'll take your calls. More Cosmic Conditions right here on Lighting the Void. Stay with us. Oh, man. That's some old school Lighting the Void. If any of you guys have been listening to the show long enough, y'all remember that track, don't you? We're back with Cosmic Conditions on the lines, Mary Dusina. We're going to go through the signs and we'll take your calls at 1-800-588-0335. Make sure you visit her website at marydusina.com, MARYDUSINA. I would only promote the best psychic on the planet. You know that? I've had a lot of people come back to me, Mary, and talk about just how awesome your readings are. Some spine-chilling, freaking, readings that people kind of didn't want to hear. Even some hard truths. That's what I like about you. You'll lay it all out there.
Well, it's never just been a air quotes job with me. It's my life's work. It's part of what my karma and my soul mission is. I know my prices are way below every other 35-year plus psychic astrologer out there because I look and I'm going, whoa, that's expensive. Whoa, that's a bite. So I deliberately keep my fees fair. Hence, I have no guilt about it because I've already searched around what other ones are charging that have the same time of time and effort in it. But I can't say I do it because I love humans. That would be a half lie. Because humans are forever eclipsing themselves. It doesn't take an eclipse in the sky to do it. It's easier for me to be the telepath and the Reiki master with animals because I always have success. Always. But with humans, there's those childhood patterns that we have and those psychological twisted cords that we have. And then we have the psychic knots. And then we have, the stuff from, our soul's progression, the work to be done this lifetime, which is the North Node, and the easy way out that we can all take, which is the South Node. And I'll give you a little clue because Joe and I made a commitment almost 3 years ago now that each one of the shows in the month that we'd always try to introduce a little more of the teaching because that's what the Lighting the Void Walkers tribe is. So I'll give you a clue. If you can this month, if you can go ascertain when you were born what your North Node is in, the South Node will always be opposite. There's an easy one. So go find out, even if you just go to your little Google search and say, what sign was the North Node in 1982? And then it'll pop it up. And if it changed that year, it'll show you that. So when you find out what sign your North Node is in, then step number 2, if you're going to be a tightwad and not go to an astrologer and let them tell you and teach you, step number 2 would be what house, what room, what house, what zone in your Earth birth chart is your North Node in. Here's the key that unlocks everything. The astrological teaching is, the celestial magic is, we came here to work on the North Node. Our life's work this lifetime is represented by the sign that your North Node is in and the region, the room, the house, the zone of where that North Node is. So there's 2 big magical elixirs there, what sign it's in and what house it falls in. Because the South Node is our comfort zone. That's where we try to run and hide. That's where we try to avoid or enable. And that's where we try to talk ourselves out of stuff. And the North Node is like, no. So like right now, the North Node is cycling in Gemini. And so this is about our self-talk. This is about how we express ourselves. Are we effective at it? Or do we sabotage ourselves? And do we let people trigger us? What triggers us? And do we tolerate when it comes to boundaries of behaviors? Trust me, I'm half hillbilly, proud to be born in the mountains of Tennessee, and half Italian. So somebody comes at me, I look at them and I say, do you want the Italian side or do you want the hillbilly side? Because either way, I'm going to wrap a bow on it. So I don't let people mistreat me with words. I don't let people mistreat me in friendships, in business. I don't do it. I set boundaries, and it's like, okay, you didn't play fair. You're a jerk. Watch this. I'm out. Now you don't get me. So and I am a very good teacher with people to be able to say, do you not know that you don't deserve that kind of treatment? And then I start with them like Joe's talking about hard truths. I'm like, do you do that to the other person? Do you talk to the other person like that? Do you start that stuff? Do you castrate people? Do you guillotine them psychologically? Are you a bully? I mean, I'm going to help you find your archetype. So when you're whining and complaining about a relationship, I'm going to put that spotlight on you and say, let's look at what you're allowing. Let's look at what you're doing. Let's look at where you're not owning your stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can attest to this too, for sure, because Mary's like told me many times, people only treat you how you allow them to. And what ends up happening with me is I keep allowing it, right? And then I have like I'm an Aries, right? But then a Cancer moon, so that can be terrible sometimes, honestly. But I have all this like pent up anger, but I want to be sweet to everybody, Yeah. And then one day I just pop, and usually what triggers it is the pent up stuff when I get to, like, if I'm opening up or and then I get gaslighted for it for some reason. Yeah, I usually pop. I don't know why.
Well, the other thing with that Aries Libra axis, Aries is I am, and Libra is we can. So when you've got strong Aries, it's like I'm very masculine, and that's no insult to any Aries female out there, because you little bitches know that you can be controlling and mouthy, so don't go there with me. I have a lot of Aries female clients. Yeah. So, and I appreciate their fire. I appreciate their fire, but they usually put their fire of their creativity in their work and avoid a lot of things in their relationships. I know I have a bunch of Aries females that go, thank you. So, yeah, I know. Okay, so the Aries is the part of us in our charts. We all have all these signs in our charts. Your astrological chart, your sun sign, your moon sign, I call the big power three. Our sun, our moon, and our rising sign is like the main ingredients in our recipe. That's all. It's not the key to define everything about us. There's a lot of little dynamic aspects going on. But when you've got the Aries in all of our charts, the Aries is where the ego wants to express itself. So you might be an Aries, Joe, and there could be another male friend that's an Aries or a female that's an Aries, but they've got their Aries in a different house than you. But in our chart where the ego projects itself is Aries, where the ego, and like, it's not that you always need applause. Because let me tell you something, when you're doing something in your life for a person, a random act of kindness, paying it forward, when you're doing it right, you're not doing it because of the applause that you'll get. The magic of the applause factor, as I call it, is that you've recognized it before, and so the magic is to bring that other person or those other people in so they can experience some applause factor, so that you're bringing them into the magic of the spotlight and the applause. So the Libra part of it is like second-guessing yourself. Well, now, I know what it's like to have my feelings hurt. Did I hurt their feelings? There's all that self-talk afterwards. But the Aries part of it, listen, the Aries male is lean and clean with it. It's like, you say A, I know that B is after it. Don't tell me B doesn't come after A in the English language, because that's what we all learned, and so we got to get on the same page. Because, and I like to quote Dr. Phil, because he's a forensic psychologist, so he's dealt with a lot of criminals and childhood abuses and stuff. And he always says, when it comes to dueling relationships, he always says the best predictor of future behavior is past circumstance.
True. That's definitely true.
If you can just adapt to that and start saying to yourself, again, go to the mirror, Hall of Mirrors with Gemini, and say to yourself, because Gemini is the third sign, Aries is the first in the Western Zodiac, and say to yourself in that mirror, am I being honest with myself about, again, before we went to break, am I really happy in this relationship? Do I really feel that job, that person, that lover treats me well and respects me for the human that I am in their life? It's not like I need applause for every nice thing I do for them, nor do I need it thrown up in my face. So if you do something nice for me, do it because it was nice for me. Don't bring it up to me again. Like, I don't give people things with a string attached.
Oh, thank
God. So
God.
I know that can be one of my triggers. And people, I'll do this.
I have that same. I know we're wasting time with the signs and stuff, but I have that wasting time. I have that same trigger too. If somebody's like, "Oh, I just want to help you," and da 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 da, and then they give you like something, right? And then later you hear about it, right? Well,
that's called a leash around your ankle. That's called I didn't give it to you. That's called I didn't give it to you without expectations. So if you have expectations, tell me that up front.
Exactly.
I'm going to do this, but I want you to do this. Then at least I can say, no, I'm out. Or, okay. Yeah. Don't play the sneaky game. So we'll start with Aries. So the key themes right now are Evaluate yourself. Yeah, that's right. Take it home to you. Evaluate yourself, because what I'm about to tell you is the background painted on the wall, or the background theme and insight recipe going into December 4th of 2021. Yeah, that's right. It's 6 months. Minimum effect of a solar eclipse. Minimum is 6 months. Most astrologers will tell you you're going to be working on it off and on for a year, even if you change your whole life in 6 months. And how many of you out there made a big change since December of 2020? A lot of us. A lot of us, where you're sitting right now at this eclipse. So
I feel like
for
I'm on
Aries,
another planet, for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And even if we did it psychologically, you may be still sitting in the same apartment, house, or trailer, but you may have totally had some aha moments and huge epiphanies since December of last year. And it wasn't just that we emerged from that lack of Thanksgiving and lack of Christmas with the global lockdown. We experienced some things right where we lived that we had never experienced before in a lifetime, including our parents and our grandparents. So we went through some real historical brouhaha on this planet. So I do think that what that last December 2020 cycle showed us, when we didn't get to be with the people at Christmas or Thanksgiving or Hanukkah, is that, wow, we got a big reality bite on who and what matters in our life, and what we're not going to tolerate, and what we know we need to spend more of our priority time with, the skills that we have, paying more attention and prioritizing our skills, our purpose this lifetime, and the people that hold true worth in our life. Yeah, don't kick those to the curb. Yeah, you don't get lazy with those people, because they're the ones that show up for you and got your back. So for Aries, for the next 6 months now, people, for Aries, slow down, get out of passing gear. Don't be a speed demon all the time in your life, in your thoughts. Don't get OCD. Don't get anxiety-ridden. Don't keep chewing. It's like something stuck in your tooth, and you got to keep going there all the time in your mind. So you might need to do something herbal to calm yourself down. You might need to address what triggers your anxiety or your sleeplessness or your anger or your inability to own your own crap. And I'm speaking male and female Aries here. We're not doing a transgender BS on when it comes to this advice for signs. So your mind and your ideas, because of your focus, communication and priority are your top priority right now, because Gemini is about you embarking on all of these new beginnings pertaining to learning and communication. So back on May 26th, you kind of graduated from getting stuck, and you embarked upon some type of new consciousness and embracing a new spiritual possibility thinking or belief, or it's ushering in fresh, exciting new energy, but it's still pertaining to what you're looking to learn next, because Aries, as an Aries, you're someone who's incredibly driven and ambitious, but right now you might not have all those next steps figured out. And so that kind of puts Aries into a little bit of a depression or a little bit of a funk. Aries doesn't like it when their motivation goes to sleep. Aries, like Gemini, and we're in Gemini, Aries, like Gemini and Sagittarius, they're better busy. What happens, though, with those signs is when they get in a stagnation period, what they don't like, if they had unresolved issues, is all of a sudden they have to really think about those things that they're avoiding and think about the things that are haunting them emotionally that aren't right in their life, and their soul already knows it. So that's why Aries likes to stay busy. When there's the Aries that are working on themselves and doing self-actualization, and there's the Aries that are running and avoiding and staying in a pit of crap. And when they aren't busy and they're not running all the time from here or there, then they get all surly and pissy because they're having to think about the very things that they're running from. Yeah, hello. So for Aries, it's third house, and it's all about, why do you think it? Is the thinking process optimal for you right now? And it's also about a new neighborhood. It's about getting into a new kind of like there's going to be people coming into your life, Aries, that stimulate you mentally, like you like to have as the running buddy or your third wheel, or there's a whole new dynamic happening with the conversations that you have with people that live like in your own neighborhood or really close to you. It's just really interesting right now. Yeah, it's really interesting right now. If you're a Taurus, it's about the money zone. It's Gemini is the sign right after Taurus, so your finances are getting a much-needed tune-up. Taurus like to think about money anyway. They always like to count the money in the pocket even before they leave home and the whole time of the process. So there's money options. and there's fresh opportunities around Taurus. It might be the new job. It might be you sell something, liquidate it in order to get some fresh cash moving around. It feels a little uncomfortable for Taurus and Cancer when they get into a change zone that that feels like it's being forced on them. But with Taurus, I guess if I had to think about the Gemini Sagittarius, it's about the full moon that was 2 weeks ago. Had you really thinking about how can you improve your relationship with money? Are you in a good flow dynamically with your money? Are you stuck? Taurus gets stuck in their region about how they handle money. It's like it's their way or the highway. And usually, especially male Taurus, they'll let you pay for things before they'll offer a lot of times because they really want to hold on to their money. I don't care how old they are. They really want to hold on to their money, and they always have more money than they say. So you're not going to find a Taurus male spending all of his money easily. I mean, like, that's just not easy for them to do. So the female Tauruses, they can be a little more generous. But this eclipse is prompting you into the last part of this year, the next 6 months, to take a closer look at your resources, and are you managing them optimally? Are you okay with the money that's coming in and what you're doing with that money? But it would be an excellent cycle, especially after the 22nd of June, for the Taurus people out there to, if you want to sell something, good time to do it as we approach Mercury going direct and summer solstice. Now that square of it's coming up, the 14th to the 17th, when we got that war in the heavens between Saturn and Uranus in Taurus, that, Taurus tends to take a long time before they lose their temper or get upset or really take it personal. That could be the time this month where you need to just take a chill pill, because you're not going to be able to control a lot of things at that time, Taurus and Scorpio. It's not going to be under your control. It's sometimes destiny comes in and says, okay, we got to weigh the change. It's going to happen. And we're in that sign, folks. Gemini is all about the changes that got to happen, even if we resist it. So with Taurus, it's more to do with romance and finance. And those got a little bit of a war going on. So, and believe me, if someone has Venus in Taurus or Mars in Taurus or a rising in Taurus, they're gonna lean more toward that finance. That's just the way it's gonna be. Gemini, personal transformation is imminent. Now, you're going through a lot of changes this year, not just this month. We're coming to the end of this Gemini Sagittarius Saros eclipse cycle, and so it's not going to come back for 19 years. And 9 years from now, it'll switch. It'll be the North Node in Sagittarius. So for Gemini, this is like the last eclipse in Gemini in this whole series for 19 years. So it's a big deal. So Geminis need to be looking back to the year of 2002. What morphed and shifted then? Because that was the last time you were in such a big cycle if you're a Gemini or your North Node is in Gemini. So this is in the first house of self. Happy birthday. You're no stranger to change because Geminis and Aquarians tend to embrace change. They kind of get surly when they don't have change. But your chart ruler, Mercury, is in retrograde, so this is a time for you to upgrade your own hard drive. You may find that your familiar communicative defaults are being eclipsed, a deliberate play on words, and it can feel like a little bit of an uncertain time for you. So it might not be the easiest time, Gemini, for you to focus and learn something new, but it's a really good time for you to revise it, recharge it, review it, and kind of look at what you came out of 2020. What did you come out of last year with to make sure you've truly absorbed what it was that was the overarching truth of your soul of last year? But it's more to do with, I just think Gemini and Sagittarius are going through major alchemical transformations, period. I don't think it's brought on by a lot of other people in their life. I think it's pretty much Gemini up to you and all about you at this time to say yes or no. If you're a Cancer or a Cancer rising, this is a 12th house hit. So the 12th house means you're incredibly intuitive and psychic. Are you going to listen to it, though, or are you going to see it as the boogeyman or the monster under the bed?
Right.
So your mental health is your top priority, and Cancer is naturally intuitive when it's strong in the chart. They're naturally a sensitive soul. Your self-help practices, getting much-needed rest, fresh starts with this solar eclipse, you're exerting a lot of your energy out toward nurturing and caring for others. But I got to tell you that this eclipse you need to do some of that nurturing and implementing those practices in your daily routine to support you and what enlivens you and what empowers you and how you can kind of give back to yourself. Like, I've said it before, Joe, when in doubt, soak your damn feet. Soak your feet in Epsom salt. Start with the nerve endings on the bottom of your feet, because that's Pisces. So there's some sudden moments of clarity, though, and I really feel like this eclipse could be like strong spirit guides, paranormal experiences, loved ones having a dream, having a walkabout, actually, an actual meet and greet in a dreamscape of someone that you've lost in spirit, or that's an ancestor or a guide that comes forth and like really helps you unlock where you've gotten stuck or backed up into a corner. So that time for reflection, meditation, ceremony will give you some divine assistance, which is really, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It's absolutely life-changing. But the 12th house also rules any institution of correction, physical rehab, hospitals, jails, the popo. So it's like anything that can have to do with getting help, getting fixed, getting repaired, getting busted. So don't let your moods, or don't let yourself get so exhausted that you were drinking and driving, or you were looking at your phone, and that state that you live in says you're going to get a $250 ticket for that, and that just sinks you more into a bit of a difficult mood, or you feel like you can't keep your head above water. It's about you taking care of you. So maybe some herbal things, maybe a smoothie. Try to eat better so you're actually fueling your physical earth temple in a more optimal way. So Leo rising Leo, your friendships and your social life are being upgraded and restructured. Mars goes into Leo tonight as we start, Friday. And so for the greater part of the year, relationships have been a major theme for people that have strong Leo, because Gemini is lighting up the 11th house. But that's also what you can do with a group effort or a team or a tribe, like all the internet chat rooms, making friends online with that. It's not so much the dating sites. It's more to do with really discovering people that you have the same mindset. Gemini and Leo get along well together when they can hang together, and it's like, well, that was really fascinating, or thank you for that reference, or here, this works for me, and this food and this herb and this book and this CD, and like even music together. So I feel that there's a communication can be a little tricky. You might have to do some do-overs until the 22nd of June. But with Leo right now and the Gemini, the triad of Gemini, there's still room to work through the misunderstandings. Not that they won't happen, but there can be some warring words that happen, and that never bodes well with the Leo. Leo will fire right back at you, and you'll see those lion fangs and claws. Yeah. But at least if it gets said into the room, and it's not just some resentment thought that somebody has, at least it can get resolved once it's aired out in the room. Gemini is the air element. So once the fighting words come out, then you can clear the air, as they say, magically. If you're a Virgo, it's all about career. It's a 10th house thing. Your career endeavors, your work, all of that's getting a makeover or a fresh start. You're a fellow mutable sign ruled by Mercury, Virgo. So the changes that life's going to throw your way, Virgos hate to feel like they're unproductive or disorganized. So with this solar eclipse and Mercury, the ruler, kind of being a little wonky in your 10th house of work and vocation, there's going to be some needed adjustments and certainly some patience that you have to implement to do with work and those that you work with. But those Virgos out there that have been eager to switch things up, I see that as a gift as we come into summer solstice. I see that as you go into that period of summer solstice, the 20th, 21st, 22nd of June, all the way into July 5th through the 7th, that just looks like it's the goose's golden egg for Virgo at that time. So fear not. There's going to be some faux pas. There's going to be some screw-ups. You might be the very one that comes in and fixes the mistake, but I think your reward comes more in July. So if you're a Libra rising, your soul and your spiritual journey is asking for your attention. This is the 9th house. Now, when you look at the mundane, this has to do with, looking over contracts, looking over legalities. It has a lot to do with the 9th house is metaphysics. It's your higher mind. You're wanting a win-win deal. You're not wanting to engage in a contest of wills. You may find that there are some words that need to be questioned, like, wait a minute, I want to make sure I understand that. Say that to me a different way, especially if it comes to negotiated contracts. So you're open to learning and expanding your mind instead of just starting the whole meeting being suspicious or thinking somebody wants to take something away from you. So it's going to prompt you to review things. Don't get lazy with reviewing and reading over things and asking the questions that need to be asked. Or to take them to a specialist that could help you. And then I feel like it's going to be a blessing as you come to the end of June of you doing like a really poignant deep dive into transformational studies. I feel like that the things that you've been learning over the last probably 2.5 to 3 years come back to really be a cornucopia of blessings for you. Like it's really going to be, you're going to get your mojo and how you put that out and how that can benefit you career-wise, money-wise. They kind of go together. Scorpio, this is about your 8th house. So if there's going to be fights and misunderstandings, Scorpio, it's going to have to do with what someone says you owe them or thinks you owe them and you don't, or somebody's trying to pull a fast one with you with the money thing, or they're not following through on their end of the bargain. The 8th house can have a lot to do with taxes, sex, death, and money. So again, it's kind of like the mysteries of life, the mystery of the power of sex, the mystery of the allure of what money can buy, or how money can keep us locked down. A lot of people think having a lot of money is fun, but let me tell you, I know a whole lot of people that have got a good amount of money and they're locked into that marriage and they're locked into that house because they've got those shared resources, and they'll say they're not happy, but then they say things like, yeah, but what's it going to cost me to get out of it? That's the 8th house. So,
that sounds so sleazy, don't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a type of prostitution. People don't like to hear that, but you know me, Joe. I'm the girl that's going to call it like it is.
Yeah, it does.
If you stay in an unhappy marriage, you're a prostitute. Yeah, sleep on that tonight. If you're staying in an unhappy situation because you're afraid of what it will cost you to get out of it, then as a mystic, I would say to you, okay, at what cost, at what price to your mental health, your potential happiness with a good partner? And it's like, what, are you going to stay and cheat? I mean, how does that help your spirituality? If you know you're unhappy enough to break a commitment with somebody, then how do you think that's going to advance your soul? Here's a clue, it's not. You're eventually going to get busted. You're going to hurt a bunch of people that didn't need to get hurt, and you're going to pull a lot of people into a spider web that didn't need to get pulled in. So just be bold, clean up your damn act, admit the truth. What's the old song that what Paul Simon did? There must be 50 ways to leave your lover.
Oh, I remember that.
If I'm done with if I'm done with somebody, the kindest thing I can say is, we can go to therapy, but I think I'm done. This isn't working for me anymore. Then let's go to therapy, because then I can at least find out with you, because I made a commitment with you. We can see if we can work it out. If we can't work it out, then the kindest thing we can do to each other, and the most spiritual, psychologically clean thing we can do, is to admit to this. And then we can sit down with a lawyer and we could talk about what the finances are going to be. So we don't have to go into this pissing contest over money. Or would you prefer to be in denial and I stay with you and I cheat on you just so we don't have to divide the money? How about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of breakup.
Put it on the table.
There's a lot of breakup energy going on right now, for sure.
There is. Well, yeah, because listen, when you get involved with Gemini and Sagittarius energies, Sagittarius is the horse that you're not going to bridle and saddle easy. And Gemini is the butterfly and songbirds. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Songbird might sit. Yeah, they might sit up on the tree and sing you all kinds of pretty songs, but go try to catch one with your hands. You're not going to do it.
Yeah, so don't chase one. Try it. I don't know.
So Scorpio is there's now. I will say this: Scorpios that are unhappy out there, or Scorpios that are staying but they know, but they're not happy. There's some Scorpios out there going, yeah, well, just wait till the right opportunity comes to me, and I know that who I've been with hasn't been fair with me, and they've been playing games with me. Scorpios out the door. They're gone. That's it. So Scorpios can drop a few guillotines before we get to the end of June. If you're a Sagittarius, all of your, as I call them, SOs, all of your significant others, both work, financial, and personal, are under a transformation. For a Sagittarius, the problems that you did have with workers, a job, a relationship where they weren't supporting your changes, now that's come 180 degrees, and you're going to hear that partner, say husband or wife or Whoever you decide is your partner is going to say, you know what, if you want to leave that's a crappy situation. I will support you. I want you to leave. I don't like you unhappy. That's good news for Sagittarius. So it's a great time for you. There's somebody sassy that can show up for you if you're currently not in a relationship and you're single. This is like that kind of kismet moment where you're just like you're at the art show or you're at the concert or you're walking through the vegetable aisle at the store and you strike up a conversation going, hey, I want to get to know you better. You're interesting. One of the great dating lines that you can use out there, gay, straight, male, female, is you can just look at somebody and say, you are really interesting. I find you interesting. That's not too sexy and it's not insulting and it leaves the door open for them to go, thank you. Okay, so where do we take this? Well, let's go meet for lunch or whatever you want to do. But I find you interesting can be very alluring, very alluring. So that Gemini can present the ideas, but, it's like I say to people, Gemini can start the conversation, but the Sagittarian energy in your chart is how you engage someone's interest. Everybody's now trying to figure out what house their Sagittarius is in. Trust me, Joe, they are. If you're a Capricorn, I know how to play my signs like the Spices. So if you're a Capricorn, Cancer had to deal with their mental, psychological health and do self-nurturing. And here, their polarity sign of Capricorn, your physical health is being emphasized. So you might be the one that has electronics and things like that go wonky under Mercury retrograde. And maybe the bigger overarching reason is you've needed to take some time for yourself. And the computer going down or the phone line going down and all that forced you to stay home, if nothing else, and wait for the computer repairman or the phone person to come. And you finally got force-fed. It's an eclipse. We can get force-fed. Our dessert might not be exactly what we wanted to order up, but at least we got some dessert. So if you're a Capricorn, it's sixth house. And let me put this on the marvelous side of it. It's the most incredible cycle for you, Capricorn, to address taking care of your own health, your mental health, your physical health, walking a little more, maybe going and getting a pedicure or a massage or getting a facial if it's been never or a really long time since you've gotten a really organic type of facial or a hair condition. Just go do it. Just go do it. It's amazing how you'll feel afterwards. But Capricorn's got some new work ideas, little irons in the fire to do with how they're going to expand their work too. Aquarius, got Aquarius and Pisces to go, then we're taking phone calls. Aquarius, this is a huge boost in creativity for Aquarius. So that your creative ideas are on fire. Aquarius is the most rebellious sign in the zodiac. Saturn's still there, and it's going to come up against Uranus and Taurus. So Aquarius, I know how you are about pushing limits and pushing others to try new things and to trip the light fantastic into bizarre, the macabre, or the racy. But this is an eclipse, and even though Gemini favors you and you're very much in alignment with that, it's taking place in your fifth house. So let me address the fertile Aquarians out there. If you don't want a oopsie pregnancy, don't take a risk, because this is in your fifth house and you're very fertile. You're very pregnant with possibilities. So if you don't want to be pregnant, then I'm telling you, don't play Russian roulette, with the gun. Don't play Russian roulette, because it's not going to be firing blanks. So this is a great time to work with your how you put your words together, how you construct your creativity. I do see you can bring a creative project to life. There might be some snafus. This eclipse is about fun and pleasure and play. You're an Aquarian, so you'll drink too much, you'll take too much of ayahuasca, you'll try DMT, and you'll be running around naked through the woods, and you're not going to remember it, and it's not going to turn out well if you don't protect yourself from getting pregnant or busted.
Boy.
So, Joe, we have this show where we try to warn you. So you're going to be frisky, Aquarius. So those of you that
I have Aquarius and
play,
Venus, so you know what that means.
Well, okay. Well, Joe, you won't be shooting blanks, honey, so be aware. So with Pisces, Joe's like, oh, hell. So with Pisces, our final sign, Gemini challenges Pisces. The square that's happening right now is Jupiter. It's going to turn retrograde. It's just a tush of Pisces. It's at 2 degrees of Pisces. Neptune's well established in Pisces, and it's clashing with these 19 to 23 degrees of Gemini. So for Pisces, it's home and hearth. The fourth house, a lot of astrologers don't talk about what the fourth house really is. A lot of people think death and matters around death is the eighth house in astrology. Here's a secret. It's the fourth house. The latter part of your life, The conditions around your transition, people that transition in your life, that's a fourth house thing. So Pisces right now, they're going through the fourth house things because it has to do with the matters of the soul and the meaning of this earth walk in this life. So there's some change in the home and the very private lives of Pisces. There might be health issues. There might be fears of something being worse than what it is or what the outcome might be. And that happens with people when they get little scary burps on their medical reports. So they may have to go through a procedure in order to correct something that went a little medical wonky. They might have to get some stitches or get a bone repaired or stop eating what they're eating in their diet because now it's caused IBS and digestive issues. So for Pisces, you're going to have a comeuppance on how you have to ensure the blessings to go in a different direction and to have a turnaround in your life. And it could be for you, Pisces, that if you've been lying to yourself or if you've been lying to that family member because you've been wanting, like Libras do, to try to avoid a confrontation. Aries will walk into a confrontation. Libra and Pisces, they set it up, but they like to avoid the confrontation. And unless you have Aries or Sagittarius in your chart, then it's just going to go sideways. So if you're a Pisces right now, you sneak and you do things, and then when you get caught, you think the best thing to do is to lie or to avoid it or to drink more or to go hide in the corner. That's not going to work this month. That's not going to work until, the things that you did that with last year are going to come up right now. So if you're a Pisces, just say, I'm sorry. I was weak. It was a weak moment. It wasn't the right thing to do. I took the easy way out, and I just need to start. Sometimes if we just start by apologizing, forgive me. Forgive me. I was weak. I was tired. I was wrong. There's so many people that just run from accountability. I shouldn't have talked to you like that. You mean more than that to me. I'm sorry that I didn't pay attention to what your request was. You matter to me. Sometimes just saying, I apologize, you matter to me. Yeah, that'll get you out a whole lot of deep trouble if you're sincere. So I kind of see that around Pisces right now. I think that Pisces and Virgos need to own their stuff. And I believe that the step back to reconciliation, or at least if you choose to walk away, break up, or divide the house, I think that'll be better if you at least, like I had a client that their husband said to them, the client has been going through like cancer oncology treatments since like October of last year. But their spouse said to them, now remember, the Pisces is going through the cancer treatments, and their spouse said to them, they just took their last treatment, and the spouse said to them, well, you don't know what I've had to go through with all this.
Right.
Of course, my eyes rolled. And I'm like, whoa, that's hard to hear. That's hard to hear. So obviously the husband's very frustrated. It's gotten to him, but those were the wrong words to use to a person that's going through cancer treatment. You have no idea how hard this has been and what I've had to go through as the person that's actually taking chemo and radiation and losing weight and wondering if they're going to live, has to turn around and deal with that. Like, if somebody's going through a hard time, no matter what your sign is, don't dump on them. Just don't. Just don't. It doesn't solve anything. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll be right back. We'll take your phone calls. Some of the phone lines are already filling up, 1-800-588-0335. If you can't get through, just keep trying. You're going to get a free reading from Mary Dusina, and we'll be right back. More Cosmic Conditions right here on Lighting the Void. All right, welcome back to Cosmic Conditions, live right here on Lighting the Void. Welcome back to Cosmic Conditions, live right here, live on Lighting the Void, always on the new moon here with Mary Dusina, and always on fringe.fm. If you want to support the show, please do so. Go to lightingthevoid.com, make a donation, or sign up to the membership. The membership stuff, we got a lot of cool stuff there that's going to be coming out soon. But you all know, that I'm building this we're actually in a studio here, Mary, in Cottonwood.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Right here at the foothills of Sedona. So I I did start the thing. I don't know if you heard it. It was broadcasting from the high desert. It felt good. But this is a manifestation of a dream for sure. Don't you think?
You're manifesting it, darling. You're manifesting it.
Speaking of manifesting, if you want to learn how to do that, you need to go to Mary's website at MaryDusina, MaryDusina.com. Sign up for a reading. It's going to change your life. So we're going to go to the phone lines, and we're going to get a little taste of those readings right now. We're going to start with line 1. Just to remember that you don't have to use your real name if you don't want to. And fire away. We got to, let's see, line 1 is 8. Hold on. I can't see. I'm losing my vision. 608 area code with Mary. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
This is Doug from Wisconsin calling. I haven't spoken with you guys for a long time.
What's up, Doug?
Congratulations on the move, Joe. Pretty excited to hear that, and just wanted to say hi to you guys.
Oh, thanks.
I'm Mary. It's been probably over a year since you've heard from me, but I thought I'd call in and just see if you had something from Spirit for me. My birth date is 5/21. 2nd, 3rd, 7th, 8th, and 9th houses are empty, and I have the Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Jupiter all in my 12th house.
Whoa.
Wow. Old soul. Number one, thank you for caring enough to call back after a year or so. That means a lot to me. And I love loyalty. I'm a loyal person, and I like loyalty, and I like commitment. So thank you for it meaning enough for you to call back to Lighting the Void. That's first off, I want to honor that connection. I feel like that the key word that I get with you is that there's an emerging going on with you, not emergency. There's a Latin root word that comes from that, but that you are in what I would call an emergence. And I feel like that the I's are beginning to be dotted and the T's are beginning to be crossed. And I feel like that what my guides are saying is tell Doug that the spirit of spring a lot of time involves some type of electric words like action and power and freedom. And I feel like that I can sense your light body, and I sense a lot of like there's a what I would call even the greens that start to happen in spring. And a lot of traditional psychics would call that the heart chakra type of energy. But for me, this feels like it's more to do with you being able to trust the footsteps ahead of you. And I feel like that you got the Ace of Cups as a card tonight, which is the element of hearts and the element of the flowing waters. A lot of times it can be a baptism of where we're literally shedding a skin and we're leaving the old self behind. An event has finally happened in our life, that death, that divorce, that move to where we're not willing to take or we don't need to take anymore the crutch or the victimization or the harshness that we had in that past dynamic. A lot of times when we're not being treated right, we get a lot of attention. When people aren't treating us fair, people feel sorry for us or they'll talk to us about it, and it's a way that we can get people to spend a lot of time with us. But with you, I feel like there's some kind of a singular liberation or freedom that some harsh, difficult episode is ending or did end. And I feel it's almost like there's like you cracked an egg and you step out of an egg. It's the chick coming out of the egg or the snake finally pecked through the egg and it gets to emerge as that new creature. And, when you've been in an egg or we've been in lockdown like in 2020, when you start to emerge, it's a kind of a wild feeling. It's just like, can I really stick my head around the corner and see what's coming up? And so I feel like that there's a baptism, there's a refreshing, there's a reset. There's aces are always about a bigger new chapter coming in your life. And we all know out there that there's been that one friend, that one coach, that one teacher, that one breakup that literally altered our whole life. So you're kind of like in a scenario to where something big is coming into your life and you're ready. You're ready for, I'm interested in what's ahead for me because I know I just survived a lot of hard, heavy things. and I'm ready now because of my courage and because of my due diligence and that I survived it. I didn't just survive it. By God, I'm going to thrive because of it. So there's a lot of courage and there's a lot of chutzpah and there's a lot of like, I'm going to do this thing with you right now. I hope you recognize this in yourself because it's all around your aura.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's been a rough, well, for everybody, it's been a rough year and a half or so with lockdown for so long. And yeah, I'm feeling like I'm ready for some changes here. Most definitely.
And I like what I'm seeing socially, Doug. I'm liking what I'm seeing emerge. Again, emerging is like something coming toward us, and we're coming out of something too. It's not just limited to, and to your point, we were all affected by a historical event, but this feels personal for you. This feels that how you got shape-shifted in the last year and a half above and beyond and because of, inclusive, the just the whole synergistic bizarreness of the lockdown and the fear porn and all that, is that I feel like that it's like a guy that does wood crafting. Like the final product was that the guy that can take a chainsaw and make really great wood sculptures out of it, or the guy that can take a piece of wood, I'm a Tennessee girl, I'm going to talk about these kind of mountain crafts, but it can actually take a wood to make a walking stick and turn a whole eagle head into it, or some kind of fine design. I feel like you've been, what do they call that? Like you've gone through the fire, you've jumped the fire, you've gone through the death, the birth, and the resurrection of it. There's a part of you that's finally going to come out that you may kind of held back for a long time. Like I want to go back almost like 11 years. But I feel like that what's coming towards you now, like you faced a lot of fears, and because of that, you're free. You're just free. You're free. It's like, I'm not afraid anymore.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for the spring and the summer here. It's like a lot of, people died, and 2 days before my birthday this year, my dog got hit by a car and died.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just kind of ready for some changes.
Well, I tell you, that dog, you had quite the bond. Not that we don't love our animals, but you had quite the bond with that dog. The dog didn't like it one skinny bit that it had to leave suddenly. Like, damn it, didn't mean to do that. And I feel like that dog's going to come back to you in just a different body. And there's always some kind of freaky, unique signature about that dog or that cat or that bird or that lizard that we had. There's always some kind of thing, the side eye, what it would make it bark or what would make the cat spaz out. And I feel like that's what's going to validate it for you. You're going to go, wow, there it is. There it is. There's going to be something about the unique signature of that dog, and it's coming back. So whether it's a stray that shows up or you just say, you know what, I'm going to go get a dog from the shelter. There's somehow I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm saying that dog spirit's coming back to you. Now you get to decide how fast you're ready for that to happen. I just had that happen to an Aquarian professor friend of mine. Her dogs reached old age and had to be put down. It wasn't a sudden shock like that. And she said to Spirit, I'm ready for Harley to come back whenever you're ready. Now wait for it. So she had adopted, she'd had a little girl. And so she said to the little girl, Spirit is going to bring back Harley because her little girl's 5 and knew Harley. And the dog died. The dog died about almost 18, 19 months ago. The rescue called her and said, we have a dog. It's a female. Its name is Harley. And I said, there's no way of all the names. Yeah. So she's blown out of the water. So you had the shock of, oh, no. And what I can feel from the dog's spirit was, damn it, I didn't mean to get hit. It's like the dog was just like, so full of spirit and just going, it's like, damn, I didn't mean to do that to myself or my dad. I got to get back. So I can tell you that dog's like still walking beside you in light body, but now it's kind of goofy. I thought there's a goofiness about that dog. And I feel like the dog just says, I got to figure out how to get back in a body to get back to my dad. I mean, I want to feel his touch again. So that was like a therapy dog for you too. That dog was an old
she
dog.
was a sweetheart.
Yeah, so I feel like, dogs don't care whether they come back as a female or a male. I'm talking about a personality, quality, or quirk that whether it comes back as, now this, my friend just happened to get a female to a female again. I've got a couple of my dogs that reincarnated in the rescue I've got right here. One of them's a male and one of them's a female. So they're both in there, and their signature moves are right there. It's kind of a nice combo. So I got a twofer. So I can tell you it hurts really bad when you go through the loss, but when they show up again, it's like, well, that's a neat way to know that Spirit's walking in my world again. So that's one of the things I would absolutely is a perfect example of what's going to emerge from a death and come into your life again. It's going to emerge from that shell of death and resurrect and come back in, from the fire of that tragedy and come back in. So you have got to call Joe and I back and let us know. I know everybody in the Void tribe is going to be going, want to know about the dog. So promise us you'll call.
I will. I'm hoping that my wife can wait as long as I'm willing to wait.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Good for you. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks for your call. Good stuff.
Hey,
man.
take care, you guys. Love listening to you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you,
Bye
sir.
now. All right, so that leaves one line open if somebody wants to grab it quick. 1-800, never mind. Well, yeah, they hung up. 1-800-588-0335. And we'll go with line 2, 910 area code. 910 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina, who he's speaking with.
Hi, my name is Jay.
What's up, Jay?
And this is a great show. I'm loving this tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really needed this. I already know this. Okay. I am March 15th Pisces. Both my sun and moon are Pisces. And I'm a Gemini rising.
Boy, you're a walking eclipse. I mean, you're a walking eclipse.
Yeah.
I mean, Neptune's and I mean, you're our eclipse mascot. I mean, you really are, the rising sign being Gemini. I get an infinity symbol with you. And my description of an infinity symbol is, we mentioned halo in the first hour of the show. And to me, the great figure eight, the great infinity symbol is a halo with an intersection. It's kind of like you took the halo and you gave it a little twist in the center. And what I feel with you is that I want to go back to 9 years ago, like eight and a half to 9 years ago, and I feel like there's a graduation ceremony in spirit of some people and some situations and scenarios that were like, you can do the math, whatever, 9 years, 8.5, 9 years ago was. And I feel like that graduation has happened, and I feel like that a portal has opened for you to be able to start with a clean slate. The card that I got for you is an 8. It just fell out. It's the 8 of Pentacles. So I'm feeling something good about the artisan that you are, the craftsman that you are, the how you're fine tuning or fine honing a certain skill with your hands, with your mind. You're like a hands-on type of person. You're very tactile, and I feel that there's an energy. I can feel the energy that comes through the chakras or the energy points of your hand. Like some people feel it with their feet, but your hands. It's like your hands are like a magician's wand. So there's something about you really know if someone gives you a massage or does Reiki, or even when there's sensual touch, there's something about the whole touch factor that's huge with you in your life. Like you can read it, and you know how someone touches you and how you're very deliberate about how you touch someone else too. That's a whole language for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So you understand that. Okay.
Yes,
have you,
yes.
do you work with your hands? Do you know that about working with Reiki or Tai Chi or massage, or there's something about that all around you?
Well, I was a chef for 25 years. So there's my hands. For sure.
There's crafting. Yep.
I'm also a musician since second grade. But I mean, any instrument you put in my hands, give me 10 minutes, and I'm jamming. And I mean, I'm jamming like I was born with this instrument in my hand.
Okay.
So yeah,
your hands are an instrument. Yeah, your hands are an instrument. So whoever it is, like the child that you want to comfort, the wild animal, to calm the scared beast, the lucky lover in your life, because you can't be a really good chef for all those years and not know what you're doing when you're not cooking with food. Just gonna leave it right there.
Absolutely.
Psychic lady knows how to read a sensual person, too. She does. Good for you. Good for you. Maybe you should do a little seminar on that. How to cook, how to get it hot and cooking without just food. But you know what? It's very sensual. It's very sensual to feed somebody, too. And you already know the type of thing that, as a chef, that you cook for somebody sets the night, sets the mood. Yep. There's something very magical about it. It's very magical. It's very witchy. It's very magical. It's very earthy to feed somebody. Southern women know that too. We know that. It's very That's good for you. Okay, ladies. He may not be single or whatever you're into nowadays, but I'm just saying this a live one on the line right here. There.
First time? Are you first time caller, Jay? This is the first time you called in?
I am. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Go ahead. I know you're going to say something. Sorry.
It's okay. And I have a confirmation for you about the infinity sign. I got married on 8/8/08.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Big confirmation.
That might be something that might be something that you wear as a ring or like a charm or a talisman or even like some kind of artwork that you get into your home. I don't know why I keep feeling like the wood, being able to carve stuff. But that symbol like is alive for you. I mean, it's obviously it's an alive symbol for a consummation of love. But I still feel like they make men's rings and women's rings with the infinity symbol. I'd be giving that some serious thought.
We got infinity tattoos, actually.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Well, she's a lucky woman. Good for you.
Yeah.
Don't stop cooking because that's part of the magic.
Thanks for calling, Jay.
Good for you.
Fantastic.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Man.
Oh,
Say hi to your wife.
I think I heard it in the background, right? But
what a smart man. He said, I'm a lucky man, too.
Yeah.
That's a smart man. Yeah. He cooks with words, too. Smart man.
Yeah, he's got a good radio voice, too, brother. So, yeah,
thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for your call.
Yeah, Joe, you might want to have him do some of your commercials. That's a good voice there.
Yeah, we are looking for new voiceovers and stuff. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, anybody want to do that or send me a demo, just send it to producer@thefringe.fm. Thanks for your call, Jay. That was cool. Or go to line 3, what is it, 713 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
Hey, this is Russell.
What's up, Russell?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, sir? How you doing, Mary?
I'm good. Thank you, Russell. You're the magic call tonight because Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac and you're the third call. So this is time for deep listening and very, very well-chosen words. So do you have a question or do you want me to pick a card?
Well, I want you to pick a card, but can I ask you something right quick, please, right quick?
Yes.
You said
I'm
call. February 2nd, so I'm an Aquarius, and you mentioned not shooting blanks. Okay, I'm 55 years old, and I had the old snip years ago, and the wife and I are getting ready to have our 32nd anniversary. Please don't tell me I'm going to have a kid. you know what I'm saying? Please, Okay. Does it mean I have to wear rubber or? I mean,
No. We're gonna do. Okay, so we're gonna do a divine. That's funny. We're gonna do a divine anointing in this moment. We're gonna do a divine anointing that the blanks. He can shoot blanks to do with the earthly juices, but he's going to be able to fire on real good to reunite the pregnant with possibility and creative fire of something that you and your wife would like to embark on in celebrating this anniversary, like what the two of you want to get creatively fired up over what you'd like to create in your life. So instead of a baby, then what you're going to do is you're going to make a commitment with your lady love that you're going to actually do something really creative together that's like something you've both never done before. And so that's a creative child of a new memory adventure.
Oh, well, we do that all the time anyway. So,
Good. Okay.
Hey,
that's funny.
That sounds great.
And as we say in Italian, when we say, did you get it? Did you hear me? It's like, capisce? Okay. So your card is the 7. Yeah, your card is the 7 of Cups. And this is where there's a lot of visions in the air. And it is a man. And the man is in the foreground. And there's like like, remember I talked about the genie rubbing the golden lamp and the magic genie coming out with 3 wishes. Well, this is kind of like multi choice type of quiz up here. And so it's like, okay, what do I want to focus on? The fact that it's a 7 makes me think about July, the month of July. So I feel like that there's some kind of focus and there's some kind of diligence and commitment that you're going to like want to really put your attention into. I know you're going to be celebrating and all, but then I feel like that there's something that you're going to really make an important chapter in your life. It feels like, okay, I want to really focus on this in this part of my life at this time in my life. I want this to take a priority. So there's some, it's like when we decorate a house or when we decide to move or, it becomes a priority to get unpacked and settled. And so I feel like there's going to be you may let go of one thing and embrace something new, have each other to do that. But it feels to me like you're going to lighten your load somehow and you're going to really enjoy having more maneuverability, like less things to weigh you down. Does that make sense?
Uh-oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. There he is.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I couldn't hear you before. Does that make sense that something's going to not be
he said yes,
as
ma'am.
cluttered or as heavy on you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
I just feel like it's exciting, and it's like you're jumping on the motorcycle and the wind's in your hair. Or for me, on horseback and the wind's in my hair, and I like it. It's like speedboat time. It's just like, I need the wind in my hair. There's the Gemini. I need to have some freedom. I need to have the wind in my hair. Or the really, I'm old enough to remember how everybody was oohing and ahhing about the Easy Rider movie. It's like, my parents talking about Peter Fonda and the Easy Rider movie. So it's like, how the rubber hits the road kind of a thing, and how we get past all of our insecurities and just say, let's do this. So that's right in front of you.
Okay.
You got to call us back. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, give us a call back and let us know how it went. I like Russell. Good call, man. Thanks for calling in. That's probably going to leave line 3 open too. If you guys want to call in, hurry. 1-800-588-0335. Line 4, 224 area code. You're on the air. Who are you speaking with?
This is Vic from Illinois.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
I hear you. Happy Eclipse.
Happy Eclipse.
What did you say your name was again? I'm sorry.
Vix.
Vix?
Vix, like a vixen. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. We got a lot of first-time callers tonight. This is awesome. All right.
Yep, I'm a first-time caller.
Yeah, so do you got a question from Mary, or do you just want her to pull a card for you?
If you could just pull a card, that'd be great. I'm curious what Spirit has to say.
Wait.
Thank you. I shifted over to a different deck. It's called the Hidden Worlds. And what I got was the card has got shafts of light. It does have a rainbow, like the way they come up over water. And there's a masculine angelic being all illuminated in white up above a waterfall. So I want to tell you, your earth totem right now is how that mist of water can form one of those littler kind of rainbows that goes above waterfalls. Is there something about waterfalls? Like, some people like them, some people don't. But for some people, waterfalls are like a big damn deal. When they go hiking or in the woods, they always want to go to the waterfalls. Or like Costa Rica, they love the waterfalls. So there's something about the symbology of it. What? Tell me.
Well, I'm going to Costa Rica next month. It's the first time I've ever gone out of the country. I'm going to a plant medicine retreat in Costa Rica.
Well, that's going to be awesome.
Wow, and I love waterfalls. Yes. Well, I am so stoked. This is way out of my comfort zone.
Well, there's something about the water in Costa Rica, and there's something about, I do feel like that a high angelic guide has got you a part of this trip, and there's something about the month of September that I feel like that as you do this excursion, there's like a protection and a blessing and a cleansing, and I feel like that there's like some type of epiphany that happens. Just the fact, did I hear you say it's the first time you've ever gone out of the country?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so
indeed.
That's bold. in and of itself, but I feel like that there's somebody really special there that you're going to connect with. I mean, I feel like that the whole modus operandi of this trip is that you're supposed to be plugging in and networking with someone that, like, when your boots are on the ground, like it's kind of like a fate chess game, like you're doing something out of the box, and the fact that you're taking this bold move to go do this trip, and like, I'm going to do something nice for me, and I'm going to do something really different. And I feel like that the fact that your earth body gets over to that vortex, it's like Spirit's going to kind of position the friend you're going to meet and someone that you're going to be very interested in too. There's like, this is kismet, this is fate, this is destiny. Big.
Oh my goodness. I know that you're so spot on with this. That's how it's big. The whole thing was divinely guided. The way the whole thing happened, it was, yes, totally kismet. And I believe everything you're saying right now. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
You're having a warm, fuzzy, psychic tingling moment. That's what you're having.
Yeah. Thanks.
Absolutely, 100%.
Where are you calling from?
Thank you so much.
Where are you calling from, by the way?
I'm from Des Plaines, Illinois. I have O'Hare Airport in my backyard.
Nice. All right. Well, you enjoy your trip and have a good, lovely time in Costa Rica.
Call us back in September. I want to hear.
All right.
Absolutely. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Line 4 is open, 1-800-588-0335. We're going to roll through this stuff here.
Okay.
I told you guys Mary's the real deal. What are you thinking? Let's see here. 812 area code on line 1. Who are you speaking with? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Joe, it's Barbara. Hi, Mary. How are you?
What's up, Barbara?
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
I'm great. Indiana's wonderful. Cicadas are fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some noise motion going on. I got the judgment card fell out for you, and I find that interesting because I happen to love Archangel Gabriel. I happen to love of course, the sounding of the trumpet has a lot to do with frequencies and waves of energy. And then we have, in a lot of the tarot decks, we have like people that were, as they say in the South, asleep in Jesus. Now, people up north don't know what that means. But in the tarot card, there are coffins that are floating on the water. And when Archangel Gabriel sounds the trumpet, and in the traditional tarot deck, there's like the Christian flag that's kind of the banner flying from the golden trumpet, and as he blasts the trumpet, it's like a resurrection type of thing. They're raising up from the dead. That's the way most people understand it. But in the South, they don't say they're dead. They'll say they're asleep in Jesus. And I remember being a kid, what does that mean? So there's some kind of raising up of frequencies and energies for you, Barbara, and I feel like that, they're actually in a rapture. Their faces are in a trance and in a rapture. Do you do any kind of like rapturous dance or trance dancing, or do you don't have to admit this on air, I'm just going to say this, there might be some kind of altered herbs or altered substances that take you into a very interesting self-revelatory experience, not unlike friends that I had in high school that did LSD, and I was the one that would sit with them, kind of a thing. I said, no, that shit's scary to me. I'm not doing that, but I'll sit with you. So it's like when people actually go on some kind of a hallucinogenic type of a thing, it's good if they have a spotter, or it's good if they have that friend that will sit with them when they go out of body and things like that, or when people get into a really scary thing with ghost hunting or paranormal stuff. It's nice to have the expert and the exorcist there. You know what I mean? It's nice to have those people there in your back pocket. So I feel like there's something to do with you choosing to do 180 degree from a path that you were going on before. I feel like there's going to be some kind of benefactor or some kind of assistant or some kind of a person that wants to be interested in your work or wants to further whatever it is that you're doing or come along. And I think you're going to have to do some really serious thinking about, do I want to do this solo or do I want to engage with a team? Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. That's exactly what's happening right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're on it again, lady. No, thank you. Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks, Barbara.
You're
Thanks
a special one. Thank you.
All right. We got a few minutes left here. 706 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with? Where are you calling from?
Hey, guys. It's Cass from Georgia.
Cass from Georgia? What's up?
Yes. Hey, guys.
So do you want Mary to pull a card, or do you got a question for her?
Yeah, no, there's lots of questions floating around up in my head right now. So whichever one.
A card then, maybe.
Okay, my spirit's telling me I have to ask you a question. They don't always do that. You don't have to go into a lot of details. Just say yes or no, because this is a deep listening call. They want me to ask you, are you aware of the sadness?
Yes.
Okay. So they want to hit that. They want to put some light on that. I feel like that, and again, you don't have to, you can just do some deep listening. I feel like that there's something that's orbiting around you that wasn't right, wasn't fair. You feel like you didn't deserve it. You feel like that it was like, what the heck, why? How dare you? How could you? Why is this happening to me? There may even be a part of you, and I do not mean this disrespectful, that even is questioning either the angels or God over this. It's just like, I don't deserve this, and I don't know why, if I'm a good person, this comes back to me. So I feel like that this is a seed, and there's going to be the lesson was more for them to receive the karma than the sadness that came toward you. And I know that sounds really weird to unwrap and understand, but you're going to see very rapid fire results of how Spirit, the divine forces, chose you as the person that was going to be the teacher and the student all in one shebang with this situation that went on. And I feel like that what seems to be so hard to grasp and understand now is going to end up being, and they're showing me like the old story of Cinderella, how Cinderella emerged from being the one that was always in the shadows and cleaning the chimney, and everybody else did this and everybody else got that, and she was always ostracized or put aside, but she ends up with the biggest prize of all. So there's something about it's not going to end up how it looks now. They really want you to know that. How it looks now and the darker side of it, or the unfairness, or the loss, the losses, what seems to be taken away from you unfairly, it's not going to end up that way for you. I don't know if it's specifically this very situation, but I know that you end up much better because of what you end up realizing and seeing, and how this all plays out. You're going to see why the push happened to get you unlocked or away from what just happened. I hope you understand that, because Spirit is talking so fast about this. I just have to. Do you understand what they're saying?
Yes, beautiful. Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. You're going to be okay, and you're going to be, they keep saying, tell her she's going to be more powerfully positioned, and it's going to be okay. This is just an obstacle in the road, but remember, the lesson wasn't a direct hit for you. It was that they had to understand the error of their ways. I want you to write that down. It's gonna matter to you. It's really gonna be an eye-opening thing in a good way for you. Not so nice for them.
No, it's funny because I have written that down about the and it may not be the situation, but one specific situation. So that's what I told myself, is that makes sense. I really appreciate that, Mary.
You understand that this isn't me. I'm just the voice. I'm just the satellite, the spiritual satellite. You understand that you got through before the show ended, and your guides and the spirit star of your soul wanted you to know you're right. This is a confirmation for you. So this isn't about the applause of Mary Dusina. This is about how it all divinely came together that Joe and I do this, and you got through, and you're like maybe close to the last, if not the last caller of the night, and Spirit wants you to put your soul to rest. It's going to be okay.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for everything y'all do. Greatly
thank you for calling in. I think that was probably, every night there's always like a really funny, a heavy, and seems like that was the heavy one right there, for sure.
Yeah, but they had me, it's like they said to me, you've got to talk to her about the sadness. You got to talk to her about the sadness. And I'm like, okay. You know me, I don't question it.
Last one, it looks like, is going to be, depending, 503 area code on line 3. Who are you speaking with? Where are you calling from?
Christopher.
Christopher, where are you calling from, brother?
I'm calling from Texas.
From Texas? Cool. Do you got a question for Mary, or do you want to her to pull a card?
I kind of want you to pull a card in regard to just kind of feeling stuck lately.
Stuck like Chuck.
Joe, you'll relate to this. The card that fell out is the Eight of Swords. So you're on the fence and you're indecisive, and at the same time you feel like both feet are tied. Like one foot wants to go there, and one's back tied to the past, and one's tied to wanting to move out of it and get to the future. And you feel like you're kind of. There used to be a song like that, "Stuck in the Middle with You," and I feel like there's some kind of you got to get yourself unstuck. As far as there's a really creative part of you, Texas, that says, I need to throw some caution to the wind and just do this. But I'm going to cut to the chase. We're close to the end of the show. I feel like the answer lies within you. At the beginning of the show, I said the Gemini part of us is the part of us that when we open our eyes, everything we're looking at in the room you're in right now, that's Gemini. When you close your eyes, that's the Sagittarius. That's the belief part of you that sees how you know it can be, sees how you want it to not be anymore. And I feel like by prayer, meditation, whatever you do to get to the inner center of you, that's the answer. That's what's going to answer your question to get you unstuck. It's not what you're looking at out here and what people are trying to convince you out here and say to you out here, you need to and you should, la, 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 la. I feel like if you close your eyes and say, soul, what do you want to do? What should we do, soul? I'll trust you. And just get that answer. I don't care if you go for a walk in the woods or you sit in the hot tub or that same question every day. Soul, how do you see it? What's right? What's right for us souls? It's actually like you're talking to your higher self and your soul, but close your eyes when you do it. In the tub, in the shower, a point in nature where you can sit down, if you're at a red light in the car and, it's going to be a long light and a long intersection. Just different points, at different points where you can get a rapid fire answer or a slow answer. Take it into your sleep. Take it into the dream lodge. You may go out of body. You may have the answer come to you in a dream. That's really strong with this eclipse, the whole guide showing up in our dreams right now. But I feel like that you're like right there to get the answer, but I feel like your mind's fighting with it a little bit. You're debating it a little bit. I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just telling you I feel like you're back and forth with it. Do you know that?
Well, I'm a Gemini rising in Mercury, so, that makes a lot of sense. I've got a lot of Gemini energy. Libra moon with a Taurus, so I think the Taurus is the part of me that gets stuck. I read that a lot about Taurus. It's like a tendency for them.
Okay, so this square that's coming up between June 14th and 17th, that's going to be the second square of Uranus in Taurus. That's propelling. Remember, Uranus rules Aquarius, so that Uranus square, even though Uranus is in Taurus right now, that's helping that Taurus get unstuck, right? So the Gemini part of you needs to listen to the Sagittarius. Go look at the Sagittarius house in your chart. Go look at that because that's where the answer is. It's the Sagittarius part of your chart. The Taurus isn't going to be allowed to be stuck in a rut because Uranus, which rules Aquarius, is right now going to go fight with Saturn in Aquarius. So Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So here's how that works out in simple terms. Uranus wins. It's talking to Saturn in Aquarius. So it's going to lift the restrictions on you. You've got to trust it. Uranus is saying to Saturn in Aquarius, I got this. Let me do this my way.
Right on. Hope everybody's cool with that because we're out of time. But thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you, callers.
Hey, thanks a lot, Joe.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Mary,
thanks, Mary, as well.
Mary, you got one last thing to say to everybody before we roll out of here.
Okay. We are spirit. We came from spirit. We return to spirit. At any moment, we can connect with spirit. We slipped on skin to walk this world for a while. Gemini is the wind and the voice of spirit. Find that in your chart and find that in your heart, and it will help you with all the other stuff.
Amen to that. We'll roll out on that one. You guys make sure you come back for the new moon with Mary Dusina. If you want a more extensive, life-changing reading, and if you listen to the show, you know it's the real deal, go to marydusina.com, MARYDUSINA. You guys got to do that, right? Go check it out. Mary, you're the best. You know that?
Thank you. And thank you all for supporting Joe and supporting this new movement of High in the Desert with Joe's move out to the magical place of the Sedona Vortex. I know I like to donate to Joe, and I would like to ask everybody to do that to give him a little bit of a moving tide.
Pretty please. Yeah, because I burnt myself getting out here, man. Like I'm on Mars, right? Pockets are getting
come any
low
more
for sure.
sincere than that. Pretty, please.
You're
a songbird. That's what parakeets do. Pretty bird. We can end it on that. Money's coming, Joe. I'm a psychic. Money's coming.
You guys have a good night. Sweet dreams.